I'd call this Harriman City Council March the 2nd, 2021 order. Before we get started, we'll have a prayer by Councilman Wright, followed by a pledge of allegiance to the flag. Councilman Wright.
Father, tonight we thank you for all of the assistance and blessings that you've shown to us and our neighbors during the time of this virus that has taken so many all around the world. And Father, we thank you for the personal blessings of our citizens here in Harriman and throughout the county. Be with us tonight in this meeting and lead us. May our words and thoughts be in accordance with your direction as we conduct our business. Continue a special blessing on all those who are on the front lines and protect us each day and be with them and their families. We give you the blessings and thanks for everything that you do. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Secretary, call the roll, please.
Brian Cross.
Here.
Buddy Holly.
Here.
Tim Johnson.
Here.
Kenny Me. Here. Sam Russell. Lonnie Wright.
Here.
I'd like to declare a quorum. Motion to approve the minutes of the February 16th, 2021 meeting. I'll make the motion. Motion by Councilman Johnson, second.
Second.
Second by Councilman Wright. Councilman Johnson. No, sir. Councilman Wright.
No.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Brian Cross.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me. Yes. Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Motion to pay the salaries.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wright.
Second.
Second by Councilman Holly. Councilman Wright.
Motion.
Councilman Holly.
Motion.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Brian Cross.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me. Yes. Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. Motion to pay the bills.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson.
Second.
Second by Councilman Frost. Councilman Johnson. No, sir. Councilman Frost.
No.
Floor is open for discussion. Call the roll, please.
Brian Cross.
Yes.
Buddy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me. Yes. Lonnie Wright.
Yes.
Motion carries. This time we'll hear from delegation. If you'd like to address this council, please come to the podium, state your name, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. There being no one, we'll go into reports. HEB.
Well, as of yesterday, HEB has reopened its customer lobby. We've got everyone working on site again. We're trying to still maintain social distancing and wear a mask, but also get a little bit back to normal. Electric department, not much to report there, but people mentioned, the city manager, we were working on some quotes for you all, the lighting here in the parking lot. Gas department, we're really excited to announce we've officially retired the cast iron gas main from our entire system. This took about 10 years and about 3 major construction projects. This is a big deal in the gas industry to get that kind of pipe out of our system. So we're really proud of that. There's a little bit of cleanup work left to do. If you see anything specific you're concerned about, please feel free to let me know and I'll make sure that it gets addressed. Water department is wrapping up the water meter replacement project. We were able to do the 3,300 meters. That's about 70% of our water customers. That should be done either this week or next. And that was paid for through the CDBG program. So appreciate the city letting us apply for that last go around. The sewer department, most exciting thing there right now is we were officially permitted by the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, TDEC, to be able to discharge the Emory River while the river flows are at least 200 cubic feet per second. So that doesn't sound that exciting to you all, but that does save the sewer department about $40,000 at least every year in power costs. We're excited about that. The next council meeting, I plan to bring a proposal to the council for approval for financing our AMI project. We'll talk about that a little bit. I just wanted to mention, if you wanted to talk with me one-on-one about the project, or if you wanted to have another workshop, that I'd be very open to doing either of those things. Just let me know. And lastly, we are finalizing our annual report. It's our goal to get that out in the first quarter of every year, so it should be printed this month, and I'll have copies for you at the first meeting in April.
Anybody have anything for HEB? Thank you so much. I seen them up working by the high school, so I figured they must be finished up because it's touching up now.
Yeah.
All right, street park.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank everybody for phone calls. And, let's see. We're going to meet with Rogers Group Thursday, and try to get this pavement done. And check the HEB about their guys, and we get done. Mr. Cook has took care of the street department. I'll be gone. He's going to tell you what we've done.
Before you sit down, Jack, we want to tell you we missed you, and it's good to see you back. Harriman's not the same without you, so we appreciate you, and you still got some courage, and it's really good to have you back.
We kind of finished up our leaf picking up for the year pretty much around, and we picked up a lot of trash, Fish Catch Road, Wrong Street, Mayberry, Maybe, Morning Drive, Lakeland Drive, Emory Street, Painted Hill, Ridge Chapel Road, Turf Spring Road, Swamp Pond Road. Still picking up a lot of brush, and we trimmed back a few places, Painted Hill, Touch Springs Road, and Oakdale Highway. We assisted Charlie and them with the riverfront park, get ready to do the work on the bank. They went down and moved some poles and stuff for them, benches and stuff. And down by Lowe's, we worked pretty much well all last week with a dam down there, a beaver dam and stuff. We'd like to thank HEB too for letting us borrow a pump. We pumped a lot of water, we got it down, but where it wasn't flooding people out down there. But it was already coming up into the road there, so. Any questions or anything?
Could you start over and slow down just a little bit so we could?
I need
I got something real quick. I had a couple people ask me if there was any way we could do anything. I know that they dealt with it before over there by Meadowview, those dam, where those beavers dammed up in that one
Yeah, I
area.
mentioned that when we had a meeting over, what we was gonna do with this one down here.
Yeah, I had a couple people within the last couple of weeks ask me, they said if you could just get in there and bust that thing up with something, but I don't know how you could get in there because it's all marsh and stuff in there.
It's really marsh, I mean,
Excuse me, TWRA was in there at one time. HEB has been there and it's flooding through the plant. Through the building. And it's back in there, there's no way we can.
I know. I mean, you looked at it that day, and I was thinking, how in the world could you even get in there to do anything?
So they make some products for the bus. They make some products for the bus.
Yeah, that's what I suggested. That's what I suggested, and he said, well, I don't want to bust out a bunch of windows.
Have we sent them up there to start trapping beavers on this upper end, or they've caught all of them down below, or are they still trapping, or?
I think he's still got some traps set at Lowe's and stuff.
Are he's going up here to trap these up here after he gets through loading?
That's what we're planning to do.
Well, they said they caught, I think the ones over there at Brown Mayview, they captured them and got rid of
Some
them.
more back. I don't think they caught them.
I don't know, they just said
They
they caught.
caught the ones first time, but I think they
Yeah.
back.
You had two dams, they had one right there that so against the rules right there, they took care of it.
Yeah.
And then on back there, when then the mayor, took the mayor out there, went to curve, it's all the way across the river.
Okay.
My experience with beavers is when we used to tear that down K-25 once a month. We build it right back.
Yeah,
Next month, we go out there with the back, tear it.
yeah. That's all I've got.
Thanks, Sheriff Department, appreciate it. Ready to go?
B&A Construction started the brick wrapping down at the riverfront park, started it last week, and Josh Gillespie from HEB has been a big help down there, keeping everything organized. I appreciate his help too. And we just ended up our basketball season last Saturday, had a good season there, picking their baseball, their softball, and weeball. We got over 200 kids signed up for this program that are actually starting this week, and hopefully get the team to step in next week and get it going. And probably in our golf, I think he's got a packet in there, and we're needing a sprayer at the golf course. Do I bring that now? Do I bring that now about the sprayer?
You can talk about it.
Okay, yeah, about the sprayer you'll see, the sprayer they got up there is like 40 or 50 years old, and David up there's done really good to keep it pieced together. Went down last year, and it was down 6-7 weeks, and the parts, they can't find them anymore, so we found one here that I will show you there. I think it's a Toro 2004 model, I think. And I checked a lot of different people. It's one of the most popular ones they use. I talked to down Rockwood, the guy down there. It's the same one they use down there. They like it real well. And we really need a sprayer there at the golf course. It's in our budget to get it off.
Anybody got anything, is that all you had? Or was that all you had? Anybody got anything for regular golf? No, thanks, sir. Library.
We just got through purchasing $4,200 worth of books and audio books from the state of Tennessee funds. They give us so much money throughout the year to purchase books with, along with what we purchase ourselves with, which is much appreciated. During the process of being cataloged, of course, they've not all come in yet, so that should make a lot of people happy. The TSL Technology Grant, we are, I'm almost completed with it. We've got the AWE work machine, children's work machine in, and I've got the desk coming in for it yesterday, so hopefully I'll get that set up for the kids next week, which is, it's a wonderful, wonderful little machine that has a lot of educational games on it, that teaches them how to play. And also with that grant, it was monitors on it too, and scanners and printers, and they are all on order. The top grant, it's pretty much completed except for computer classes, which I was not able to have because of COVID, and so it is deemed it and won't be able to happen. But hopefully, we will start that again too. The CARES grant is near completion. I have the laptop and the hotspots on order for it. They have told me that it will take 6 to 8 weeks because, of course, part of them are made in China or wherever, they're not here, they're not all made here. The CARES grant, we've got the Wi-Fi extenders up, they're working great. The cleaning supplies are bought, so it is on the verge of being complete when the laptop and the hotspots comes in. The patrons are beginning to come back in the library with their numbers going down. Hopefully that will continue, their COVID numbers. Our microfilm machine will not print anymore, and that is what the majority of people comes and looks up. We have our newspapers on microfilm, and that's what the majority of people comes and looks up for genealogy and stuff, or obituaries and different articles that they're looking for that happened a long time ago. The computer, the printer on it no longer works. You cannot replace the printer. You have to buy a whole new microfilm machine, and that's about $5,000. So instead, I am looking towards trying to digitize it all. That would make it a lot easier to find anything on anybody. I have this company that I'm talking with now, and they sound very reasonable, and will take a few things at a time. That way it's not a big lot of money, it's just a little bit here and a little bit there. So that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm still checking that out though. The yearbooks, I have them all digitized that they would do for free. Now I'm in the process of sending them the ones that we have to pay for. But that's not very expensive either, considering. And that way we will always have them and easily found, because some of the books are getting more And the children's program is still doing good. The number's a little low on them, but hopefully that will soon pick back up too. And the children's program in the summertime, we're hoping we can have it normal. If not, maybe we can have it outside.
Anybody have anything for the library? Thank you, Master. City Treasurer, Chief Financial Officer, anything, Doc?
Yeah, I got a few things. Today I turned the 2019 taxes over to clerk and master for collection, sent the files or sent the reports to Sandy. County and Kingston and Harriman will be filing suit for 2019 taxes. As of today, we've collected 87% of what's owed to us for 2020 in terms of taxes, so property tax. So that's a pretty good number compared to last year. Also had extended conversations with people in local government, and I won't take up the time to go over all the details right now, but I'll give you a written report on what I'm finding and what I've found so far. Basically, we won't need to upgrade all that hardware. They told us they listed because we can keep our server and our workstations as they are. And but if we move to the credit card system where we have online payments, it's going to be more work for me because I'll have to redo the daily cash report process. But that's doable, and I'll write that down for you so that everybody can see the details.
Anybody have anything for Dr. Curry? Thanks, sir. Mr. Reynolds?
I'd like to echo your comments that you made earlier, that we're certainly glad to have Drag back with us. He's been doing a little bit from home along the way as best he could, but it's certainly much better to have him here. Also, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Don for stepping up while Drag was out and making sure things were taken care of in the Public Works Department. He did an excellent job, and I'm very appreciative for the hard work that he put in. I've given the mayor a copy, it's a draft copy at this point, of some spreadsheets that Dr. Curley, Teresa, Alicia, and myself have been working on. Better keep up with the status of our grants. Should be able to get a final copy of that, I believe by the end of the week, and once we have that up to date, then I'll be sending a copy out to the entire council so that you'll have that as well and know where those various projects stand. And the primary goal of that is to make sure that we're getting our invoices out for reimbursement and that we are getting the money back in that we're supposed to be getting in, so that we make sure that we're balancing out on those grants and those grant requests. We're starting to put the training room into use in a couple of different ways. This week we've signed up for a week-long session with the Alliance for Innovation. It's being broadcasted by Zoom, so various groups are meeting at different times in the training room to listen to speakers, talk about different subjects, some just general management leadership topics, some are specific to particular departments, police and fire, for instance, have had some sessions. And then we're also scheduling in April, I think it's going to be April the 13th, One of the MTAS consultants is going to be coming down and putting on a leadership class for the department heads, assistant department heads as well. It's a very good class. It's based on the leadership traits of President Lincoln, and that's something that we'll be doing as well. So we're trying to work these things in as we can throughout the course of the year. Keep our department heads up to date on the training, and then try to bring some assistants in as well, so that they're prepared to step in when we have situations arise like we unfortunately had with track, but having someone to step in and take that place for a few weeks helps out a lot. So that's what we've been working on.
Do I have anything from the city manager? All right, thanks, sir. This time we're going to new business. First item, discussing possibly approved purchase of equipment for the Emory Golf Course. I think the golf course is asking to spend $6,950. Is that correct?
6,900, yes.
6,900 or 69?
Well, I told Steve an invoice and marked it down another $50, so.
Okay, I noticed that. I didn't, so I went to the high number.
Correct.
All right, so $6,900 to buy the Toro that you have in your packet for the golf course spray. Motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Councilman Johnson, second.
I'll second.
Second by Councilman Frost. Councilman Johnson.
No, they need it really bad. That's all I got.
Councilman Frost.
No, sir.
Floor is open for discussion.
Charlie, is that a new piece of equipment?
No, this is a 2002, the new one's probably 30 to 35,000.
That's what,
Or new.
but you know about,
Well, I reached out to, I think Everhart's Rockwood and some other people we buy our chemicals from that actually knows what everybody else uses. This is one of the most popular sprayers that everybody uses. And Everhart down there, they bought a 2005, 2 or 3 years ago. And it's lasted a long time. He said they're a good machine, you take good care of them. He said they should last. And the one we bought now is like 40 years old, and David took good care of it too. So I think we get this one here, and we can make it last a long time also.
Plus you can get parts for that one.
Yeah, that's another thing too. When I talked to Jack Rockwood, he said if you did need a pump or if you just something goes out, you can just get parts pretty easy. And I hope we won't need any, but it's still there if you can.
So it's 19 years old and you're guaranteeing it to last 4 years, so we're going to get 21 years of use.
I'll do my best.
Have a motion and second. Any other comments? Call the roll.
Brian Frost.
Yes.
Rudy Holly.
Yes.
Tim Johnson.
Yes.
Kenny Me.
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
yes.
Motion carries. Last item on the agenda, discuss and possibly approve first reading of ordinance 0321-01. An ordinance to amend the zoning map of Harriman, Tennessee by changing in the zoning from C2 to R1 for a parcel property known as parcel 036-J-E-3.00 Wilton Road. Does council know where this property is? Have you all had time to look at it?
We used to drag this.
Motion to approve, and then we'll discuss it. Motion to put it on the floor for a vote.
Motion.
Motion by Councilman Wright, second. Second by Councilman Frost. Councilman Wright.
Motion.
Councilman Frost. Floor is open for discussion. I'll speak on how I feel, and council can do with it as they choose. We've talked for years about people coming in and buying property in Harriman and then turning into rental property. And that's why we're a lot in the position we're in with so much rental property in Harriman that belongs to people that don't live in Harriman, and we have to deal with it. Whether it's cleaning up the mess, whatever it is. And then you can ask our codes people, when we go to find them, it's very hard to find them. So I went out and looked at this piece of property. It was Big Emery Baptist, it's where they had their main office, Big Emery Baptist Association, main office out on Ridgeon Road. It sits right off the highway. It is an office building. It is not a house. It doesn't look anything like a house. It looks just like an office building. Let's just go through. You're taking another piece of commercial property, you're turning it into another piece of rental with another person that don't live in Harriman that we have to deal with. So I would hope that we would look at this strongly, and I don't even know the people, but I do know that we complain that 65% to 70% of Harriman is rental property. A lot of it is rental property because of things like this. And I think it's time that the council stand up and stop doing some of this to stop the rental. We want people to invest in our community. We want homeowners to invest. We want people to come here and invest. Not buy a piece of property for whatever price and turn it into a rental property and don't live here. I don't know the situation with this. I did call the planning commission chairman today and talk to him about it and told him that I was going to recommend the council not to approve this, but to see how, and they didn't know a whole lot about it either. So council can do what you want to. You can table it until next week if you choose. Go out and look at it. I did go out and look at the property. I sat in the driveway of it. I looked at it. It's nowhere near a house. When I say that, it looks like an office. It's a brick building sitting on the side of the highway that is an office. It's not a house. It's somebody rents it and got kids. They're right on the main highway. We have commercial on all four corners around it. So I tell you guys to seriously consider. If you don't feel comfortable, we can table it and let you look at it. And however you vote, you vote. But I just think that if we want to try to get investment in our community, to me, this is not the right way. But that's my personal opinion. Floor is open for you all's discussion.
It's literally right down from my house. And when the mayor says it's on the highway, I'm talking probably from here to Dr. Kirk. That's how, it's right off the road.
Yeah, you just have an emergency lane and then that.
Yeah. It's seriously the middle of the lane right here to him is the big problem. Maybe a little bit further back for the parking, but it's right on the road.
Hey, Wayne, I don't know if y'all can hear me or not.
Yeah.
There was a property we just did 6 months ago, 8 months ago, something like a year ago.
That they changed.
We're the ones that changed it, that have a house on the property too.
Right.
And he wanted the whole thing changed so he could put in storage units on it.
Right.
But it's always listed from residential to commercial. So I know the back part of it used to be residential where the house is.
Right. And as I, looked at it, I wouldn't mind if they did an R3, which means commercial front, residential on the back, because the back was at one time residential. The house that sits on it still is there, I think basically is condemned, needs to be tore down. But we did switch the back from residential to commercial because he's going to put storage buildings in. But I think the front that he's wanting to go to residential has always been commercial. So yes, Councilman, you're correct. Any other discussion?
I'm pretty familiar with that. I agree with the mayor. This doesn't fit.
No.
you park, you have to park behind the building.
Yeah.
Because there's no parking area in front of it. And this doesn't fit.
It would be very dangerous to have a rental property right off the road like that.
Well, it's right in that curve, right?
Yeah.
That curve, so it would be pretty risky if anybody pulled in there. I don't think it's a good idea.
Everybody does know, we have a house right across the street, on down a little bit, and then there's one as soon as you get on the road, on the right, before you get to where Johnson's talking about turning up to his place. So, I don't know if they would have an argument there against us saying there's residential there, but there's residential there also.
Any other discussion? Call the roll, please.
Brian Cross,
No.
Buddy Holly,
No,
Tim Johnson,
No,
Kenny Me,
Yes.
Lonnie Wright.
No.
Motion fails. This time we'll hear from council. Councilman Holly.
no, thanks.
Councilman Frost.
No, sir.
Councilman Meade.
No, sir.
Councilman Johnson.
no, sir.
Councilman Wright.
Mayor just did see draft that. Pretty good, so I know everybody's been praying for him. I know he needs it, but I think he probably appreciates it. But he did see that.
I'm sorry. The only thing I have, we've been working the last couple of weeks on some events coming up, so Harriman will have a lot of things coming up in the next little bit. We got Easter coming up, we got Leprechaun Show coming up, we've got a lot of things going to be happening. And the library's got some stuff going on, so it's about time for Harriman to start getting active again. As HEB said, they've opened fully back up. I think everybody's ready to get back to some sort of normalcy, but still be cautious, and Jackie, it's good to see you. Glad to have you here. Motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, like sign.